I don't have to do this. You're not even showing them.
What's going on, everybody? For First Week Feast, I'm Sean Evans and you're watching Hot Ones, the show with hot questions and even hotter wings. Today, we're joined by Colin Delane, aka KidSuper.
Pleasure to be here.
He's a multidisciplinary artist. You know him from his 2 fashion shows in Paris, one of which was coined by Vogue as Paris Fashion Week's breakout show. The other one got no press. His sold-out art shows, as well as short films, and most recently, music.
I'm screaming, show me, bitch!
You might have seen his clothes on J Balvin, Young Thug, Shawn Mendes, and Steve Aoki. These days, you can mainly catch him indoors. Colin Delane, welcome to the show.
Super happy to be here. I actually thought about reshooting it myself if you never called, but I'm glad you called.
How are you with spicy food?
I don't know how this is gonna go, but we'll start with sriracha I know I can handle. What is this, sriracha?
Sriracha.
I can handle it.
So I want to start by taking it all the way back. For someone who grew up in New York City, if you have $5 in your pocket, are you going to the bodega or are you taking it to the dollar slice spot?
For the record, clearing my wings. When I was in middle school, I was more of a dollar slice guy because $1 gets you a little bit further. And then when I got to high school, I splurged on splitting hero bodega sandwiches.
So what were you doing for fun in high school then?
In high school, I was always kind of mischievous and would go exploring through the city. And I like to climb people's scaffolding and end up on the roofs of Soho and see all of the penthouses. And sometimes
I get some trouble.
I got a little, curious and ended up arrested.
Amazing.
We're on to Heartbeat Hot Sauce. Red habanero.
You started making t-shirts in high school. What was the first t-shirt you ever made?
It was actually a Che Guevara stencil that I copied from Canal Street because Canal Street used to sell all these Che Guevara t-shirts. So, oh my God, we're on the second one. I'm gonna die.
What's your favorite piece that you've made so far?
Since the t-shirts? This last Paris fashion show, we did that jacket where it opens up on the kiss, and I thought that was one of my more special pieces, just because you're always trying to create a new item, and that seemed a little bit more creative than a jacket or t-shirt or something. That one felt like, oh, this is unique.
I read somewhere that you were a math major in college, and you were selling t-shirts out of your dorm room but got kicked out. Can you tell the story behind that?
So, when I was a sophomore, I converted my dorm room into a store. And so everybody would come from the school to come to the penthouse, which was what we called it, of the dorm room. But the issue was I had a bunch of random people from the street coming into my dorm. And then I started shipping a lot out of the dorm, and I kept getting returns. And then the mail and the people, and then the dean of housing reported me, and I had to come meet with the board of housing, and I dressed up in a 3-piece suit and had a PDF behind me, PowerPoint presentation, to try to tell them why. And the first presentation was like, NYU or Harvard?
And then I showed them you were about your business.
And I listed all of the Harvard entrepreneurs. And then I was like, you could support me. And I was like, I should be the face of housing at NYU. They didn't appreciate it. And so I ended up leaving and trying to find my own store.
So the next hot sauce is Son of Zombie.
That sounds horrific. Son of Zombie wing sauce. Torchbearer sauces. Okay.
So I've seen videos of the M&M door as the entrance of your studio down in the basement. Is it true that it was stolen?
So I wanted to build a recording studio in the basement of the KidSuper store, and I knew I couldn't make the best recording studio, millions of dollars on soundproofing, etc., etc. But I knew I could make the coolest one, and so I wanted an M&M door, or just any vending machine you slide in. And so I used to play soccer growing up every day at Pier 40, and you'd always get your bag stolen. And so every kid that got their bag started would go to the security office and be like, hey man, can you look at the cameras? My bag got stolen. They're like, there's no cameras here on this field. And so I always remembered that. And I knew that there was vending machines there. And I knew there was no cameras. So one fateful day at like 12 in the afternoon, me and my friend dressed up as construction workers and stole the M&M vending machine. It was this crazy, crazy difficult quest that I won't get into. But when we brought it back to the store, finally got it back to the basement, we ripped out all the wires. We lifted it up right where the doorway would be, and there's a sticker on the part where a candy comes out, the little flappy thing, and the sticker says, only those who want to be forgotten give up. And we read it and we were like, this is my Jesus.
So you have a full studio in your basement. Who else is recording?
So the cool thing, I was just letting anyone who wanted to come make music. And I met this kid, Russ, through Doug, because he wanted me to direct his music video. And I was like, hey Russ, like, I just built this recording studio, there's an M&E, like come downstairs and check it out. So he came to the store and he was all about vibes and he did everything himself. So he didn't need the best equipment. And he was like, this is amazing, I'm in Brooklyn, I'm Jay-Z, I'm Biggie. So I was like, can I stay here? And I was like, yeah, stay as long as you want. And like 6 months later, he was still in the basement. And the crazy thing is like 5 of those songs that he made in that basement time ended up on his album that went platinum. So our basement was a platinum recording studio. And we have this fucking giant Russ plaque.
That's amazing.
So, never give up.
So for our next hot sauce, for the first time on the show, this is your hot sauce.
Yeah, the KidSuper collab with hot sauce for everyone. And it's not so spicy, it's in the middle, more of a flavorful because I'm not that good with spice. But I think it's delicious. It should release in about 2 to 3 months if I'm gonna plug myself. Try it so you can,
Cheers.
tell me what you think.
Cool.
I like it.
So Colin, we have a recurring segment on our show called Explain That Gram, where we do a deep dive on our guest's Instagram pulling interesting pictures that need more context. So we'll bring it up here and then you just tell us the bigger story.
Sounds good. Okay, I'm excited.
So here you're with Kanye.
Yeah, that's me and Kanye. That was the only picture I got with him. I was working with him for about 2 weeks, and I kept trying to want to take selfies, but I wanted to act like a professional. Shout out to Yes Jules for bringing me. That was a crazy experience because his ability to dream is unmatched. He's accomplished so much that nothing to him is impossible. So it's cool to be around with someone who's got limitless potential and ideas and can really accomplish things. Me on a giant bull.
It's a big bull.
That's a real bull. And my first Paris fashion show was called Bull in a China Shop. And so to promote it, I wanted to put a bull in a China shop. And so I Instagrammed, hey, does anyone have a bull in the New York City area? And actually someone did. It was only 45 minutes away. So shout out to Nina, but I drove up with my friends and I was expecting like a normal sized bull, but this was like the biggest bull I've ever seen in my life. And I asked if I could get on top of it. And they've actually been neutered, so they have no testosterone, so they're pretty docile. So I got on top of it, and yeah, bull in the China shop. Okay, so for this one, we did the recycling fashion show, and Action Bronson agreed to be a part of it. And I said, Action, come, we'll try on an outfit for you, because we had to get his sizing. And when he got there, he brought a bottle of olive oil, like the legend he is, and was like, I want the longest trench coat ever. And I think he thought we wouldn't take him seriously, because he was just saying crazy things. But this was the moment where we had all this fabric to chop up so we could make the longest jacket. And we actually called Guinness Book of Records, because before that, it was a 43-foot long jacket, and we did a 45-foot long jacket. And Guinness asked for $12K to get the official certificate.
Not real.
And yeah, so.
But you know, Action, an alumni of Hot Ones.
This is my first time actually ever hearing about the show, so I didn't know that. Next. This is a classic picture. So for Complex Con about 2 years ago, I decided to make my booth a wedding chapel because the collection was called Wedding Season because there was a patch on one of the pants, and I thought you could use the patch to take a knee to propose. So we took that one pair of pants, applied it to the whole collection, then made our whole booth a chapel. Then I got legally ordained, and then I started marrying people, and I dressed up like a priest. I don't know if they took it seriously because they were very serious in the moment, and I was legally ordained. So to this day, I'm very curious to see if they're actually consider themselves married and a couple. Next. Yeah, so at the time we were doing a lot of silly discount codes and to see if people were watching, so we put them in like the ending of our videos. And yeah, I wanted to see if anyone would use raindrops to see my penis. Okay, this is Black Garlic Carolina Reaper. Yeah, let's keep this going for you.
So you're clearly an avid soccer fan from all the videos you see you post. Do you think you could have gone professional? I know that you played a little bit when you were 18 down in Brazil.
Professional? I think if I stayed when I was 18 down there, and I could have played like second, third division, and maybe doing my work ethic, made it to first division.
Tough competition.
I always now want to go try to be pro in some weird, obscure league. I actually went to Japan and tried third division.
When was that?
2 years ago, and I said my team was KidSuper FC. And they just didn't know how I got the tryout, because I was like, everyone was Japanese, and I was the only American. But I had hit up some kid on Instagram who was Japanese, and I was like, yo, are you a soccer player? I was like, yo, can you give me a tryout? Because I was going there for clothing to China. And so I slowly went. But I had gone a 16-hour flight, landed, went straight to a tryout in Japanese. No one spoke English. It was wild.
So Colin, it seems like you love doing skits. From reenacting Titanic to Wedding Crashers, what has been your favorite skit, and what is one skit you want to do?
My favorite skit? We did Stacy recently, and obviously me dressing up as a woman to be my favorite is suspect. But I liked how that also had the big meaning of I was the secretary for this art show that became a fashion show. I think it'd be cool to get the production for a skit just incredibly high. So we're doing like Matrix, or like a Western with horses, or like Indiana Jones where we actually travel to like the Amazon forest. Just for a skit, just to promote a collection.
I saw you were also in a little Tekka video.
It's getting hotter. So, the person who is producing the music video is an old friend, David Webb. Every time he needs white people for his music videos, which isn't that often, he calls me, and I was like, yo, if I come, I need a line. And he kind of took me seriously, kind of didn't. And so when I got there, I was like jokingly like, let me speak to the director, like I need a line. And he was like, no problem, here he is. And the director came over and he was like, oh yeah, we'd love to, like, do you have any ideas? And off the top, I was just like, well, they're coming in to crash a wedding. Like, I could say something like, look like dope dudes, just hope they don't fuck our girlfriends. And the director was like, amazing. Get a mic, let's go. And we shot it there instantly, and then we left, and it ended up being like a 20 million viewed video.
Just hope they don't fuck our girlfriends. True.
This is the bomb.
This is the bomb.
Oh my god. This is the one that took down Shaq. Look at this 8-foot person. What was the question?
You've done claymation before. What's the process like? When making something like that, how long does it take?
It's hidden. It's hidden so much harder than I like.
Oh my god.
This is what they talk about. This is my shack. Why are we doing this? We did us. We did us.
I don't have to do this. You're not even showing them.
Careful around the eyes, Colin.
I could have faked it.
Fucking complex. Claymation. So I wanted to make the KidSuper world like a about video, and I wanted to show myself like on Everest or different mountains, or like climbing, or like flying like a triceratops, or like playing soccer with Ronaldinho, and none of that was possible. So I was like, I probably could make a little doll version of myself and like show them in different planets. And so I started like becoming one with doll making, which is kind of a horrible thing to get good at because like a million hours, and then it's also a pretty isolated thing. So I mean, just in my basement, fucking shirtless, like the guy from that movie where he's like, put the lotion on the skin. I was like that guy in the basement, and all of a sudden we submitted it to a film festival and it won. And so all of a sudden I was this like claymation director, and then I did one for Russ. That was pretty cool. Nailed it. This is the fiery fool. I looked this up. This is 300,000 Scovilles hotter than the bomb. Oh, fuck.
I know this one tastes horrible. Alright.
So you've done 2 fashion shows in Paris.
Yeah.
One was called the Breakout Show of Vogue, like we said before. What does this feel like from someone who didn't study fashion design?
So, Paris, the best thing about Paris was it was really one of those things where fuck you to anyone who ever said I couldn't do anything. I remember sitting there and thinking, holy shit, we're about to Paris Fashion.
I always like to do things every year that is something that I deem kind of impossible, taking a leap forward. So this was a real defining moment, and to get that Vogue review right after, it was really cool. Also, I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't do it for that. I did it for myself. It was more of a personal battle. So when the Vogue thing came, it was really cool. Felt truly appreciated. But my life didn't change that much after. I thought immediately after I was about to be like on America's Next Top Model as a judge.
So Colin, it's tradition around here to put a little dab on the last one. You don't have to if you don't want to.
Okay, I think I'm gonna take my shirt off. Here, it's my agent. Thank you for signing up for this. Okay, last dab. Cheers.
So Colin, you've done many things, you've worked with many different people. If you had to stick with one thing and work for one person, with one person, who would it be?
That's a good question. If I could do one thing.
Ooh. Maybe movies, to be honest, now that I'm thinking about it. Because I think movies is a combination of a lot of things. From set design to wardrobe. And now that we've been in quarantine, I've been writing a lot of skits and cartoons and movies. So movies. And the person, Ronaldinho is starring in my movie. And it's The Longest Yard with Ronaldinho. Wow.
Well, Carl, you've knocked down the board. Now it's time to roll out the red carpet. This camera, this camera, this camera. Tell the people what you have going on.
In the next couple weeks, we've been doing a lot of how-to t-shirts, but more importantly, we'll probably do a KidSuper song, and I'm gonna do a Genius lyric video song.
Keep on that.
Alright.
This is getting way harder.
Well done, Carl.
I can't wait till Sean Evans really calls. This is a talking point. Who else reshot this show before getting on it?
Thug, Shawn Mendes, and Steve Aoki. Thug, Shawn Mendes, and Steve Aoki. These days, you can mainly catch him indoors. Calm blame, welcome to the show. These days, you can mainly find him. Fuck that completely.
I think you're pretty good though.
I feel like we do that again.
So in high school, you made your first t-shirt.
Yes.
What did that look like?
Why are you so ridiculous?
Math major in college. You got kicked out for your.
Showing the audience.
Eh.
Sean, you never mess up. Why are you messing up on this?
What's the story about how it happened?
Sean, have some confidence in your questions.
I should just read this.
That was getting too complicated.
Careful around the ice column.
I don't even know where we're at.
Vogue naming it what it was.
You have one job,
I
Sean.
know.
What's that? No, you're
I'm not doing it.
Come on!
Fuck yourself.
He's not even taking Sean seriously. Dude, this camera, you crushed that one.
No, I'm doing on those parts.
Those parts, that's the only part you
No, the
crushed.
intro I crushed.
Did not crush at all.
The very beginning?
Not at all.
The very
Ask him.
Ask me how I'm not reacting.
Fucking complex.
Roll out the fucking red carpet, Sean.